all my rowdy country friends around here. We like to meet at the holler, build a fire, drink a beer. We slip out to the field, climb a tree, shoot a deer. I reminisce about these days, man, I get a chill. We keep our trucks lifted up so high, we gotta lock them down in a four-wheel drive. Sideways in the mud hole, that's just how it goes round here. I'm talking about the southern.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cryptic Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about some of the calls that we use, some of the turkey decoys that we use before our turkey season comes up here in what, like 14 days?
Yeah, 14 days, we'll be on the road. Our first decoy we're going to talk about today is the Mojo Scoot and Shoot. There are a lot of ethics questions that come with this. People say it's not ethical to be that close and, you know, shooting a turkey that up close. But right on the tag, on this wing right here, it says do not use on public property. And it has these nice little blaze orange buttons that come off and on. That way it can stay as a standalone decoy. Primarily that's what we're going to be using it for. It's a great tool during the late season when toms are really aggressive and ready to fight. The breeder hen here is going to be what we're going to use mainly. She is great when coupled with a tom or a jake decoy. As we know, the spring is a breeding season, so what we can do is a couple different setups. We can put a jake in front of her facing her like he's going to mate with the female, and this in turn should draw in some toms.
During the breeding season, toms are all aggressive throughout most of the season, but especially late season. So when they see a smaller bird approaching a breeding female, it really gets them riled up and they end up getting pretty angry at that bird. So it's what really you want to dig into, the primal instinct of I'm the dominant male here, you need to get out of my turf or I'm going to mess you up. That's what we want to instill into these toms.
Which is exactly why we don't want to use this guy too early into the season. I mean, it can be done, but with the blue head and as aggressive as this looks, other toms they're going to run away. They're going to come in, they'll hang up, and they're just going to get out of dodge. So we're going to be primarily using this on private property where there are no other hunters. This is going to allow us, if we do want to get close, we don't have to have these reflectors on, and we can get as close as we can and give you guys some good footage.
Next we're going to probably talk about our calls. There are a variety of calls you can get, from mouth calls to box calls, slate calls, rattle gobble calls. Really all depends on what you're comfortable using. I know Austin's really good with his mouth calls, and they're a little tricky to use if you're not used to them, but once you get used to them, they're not hard to use. It's really easy and can make a lot of different noises with these calls.
One of the things I like to use is the standard bat wing cut turkey call. It's good for yelps, and pretty much this is my go-to call for just about everything. It gives you a little bit of rasp so you're not sounding too squealy, and ultimately it can be effective if it's used right. I'm going to give you an example of a yelp at the current moment. And you can hear that rasp in there, and that's really effective when you're trying to call in older birds, because they're not after the young females. They want the older birds, the more reproductively available birds. Now what Jeff's going to show you is the box call. He's a real big fan of the box call. It's probably his favorite call. Not so hot with the mouth calls, but
I can use a mouth call, but I'm not as good as he is with them. This is a box call, a standard box call. You got your top, your box. Now this one is a HS strut, little strut, natural call. It's waterproof and has 2 different sides on it. It's a pretty cheap call. I mean, you can get box calls that range from $20 all the way up to $80. It really depends on what your favorite call is, how much you're willing to spend, but you can do the same job with any box call. I recommend getting a waterproof call. A lot of guys don't like waterproof calls because you don't have to chalk the edges of this call or the flat of the paddle with this one to get any sound out of it. So you can use this call in the rain, in the mist, in the fog, when it's really early in the morning. This call still works, especially if you're not good with a mouth call. You can still use this call. It's a big fan over slate calls because slate calls you got to get them just right in order to get the right sound out of it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give you a yelp off of this call here. You hold the call in your non-dominant hand and you just want to feather this paddle over the top of the edge here. This call has 2 different sides on it. Hen, and it's labeled H and G, I'm guessing for hen and gobbler. One's a little bit brighter, one's a little bit raspier, so we got the other side here. You can tell the difference there. Box calls are just all around good calls. You can cluck, you can purr, you can yelp. Pretty much make any noise a turkey makes with a box call.
And we don't have a slate call here with us today, but that can also be an effective tool. The only real downside to a slate call is if you're using it on a rainy day, it's going to be really hard to use and probably not going to be able to use it at all, because if that surface gets wet, you can no longer get that scratchy raspiness that you need. One of the things that you can do on a box call is gobble. It's really difficult though. What I like to do to get turkeys to shot gobble is use my mouth call, my batwing mouth call. These ones just happen to be the Crooked Spur series by Fox Pro. You can find them at your local Cabela's. What I like to do is I like to take the call and put it right here on my upper lip. Some people call this the bucktooth rabbit. What we're going to do is just set it right there. We're going to hold the bottom edges with our thumbs. And when you're blowing into this, you're going to repeat the words tuka, tuka, tuka really fast. And what that's ultimately going to do is create a gobbling noise. It's about as effective as the shake gobble or the thunder calls that you can get, the mouth calls. So I'm going to give you a little example of this right now. Bucktooth rabbit. And that's going to be the sound that you're going to produce. It's going to primarily be a tool for shot gobbling. When a crow call or a hoot owl call just isn't working for you that day, you can resort to a last ditch effort to try to get that tom to gobble so you can locate him for further hunting during the day.
Yeah. Now you can do the same thing on a box call. I'm not very great at it, but the basic thing you want to do is take the call in your hand and you want to just run it over both sides of your call. A little bit heavier call, get a little bit better gobble out of it. This is a smaller call, fits better in your pocket. Now you can get Fox Pro calls at Cabela's, but you know, I just went to Walmart. I got some Primos, so they're a little cheaper. If you're just starting out turkey hunting, they're actually a really good call to use. The sound's not entirely different. The Primos won't last as long as an more expensive call. The rubber's a little bit thinner, but they're still good calls. You can get them at Walmart. You can go to Cabela's, pay a little bit extra for a little bit better. But I got my decoys and my calls at Walmart, except for my box call. I got that at Bass Pro Shops. So really, you can turkey hunt on a budget, honestly.
one of the things that Jeff didn't mention that I'd like to add is on the Primos calls they have a sonic dome.
Oh.
And this is a dome over the top as Jeff gets us out here. And what it's going to allow you to do if you're a beginning turkey hunter is it's going to allow you to make noise effectively without having to have that finesse. That
you don't have to use the roof of your mouth. It's already got a dome set ready for you to use. Alright, as Austin said, I also got this dome call from Primos from Walmart. It's a good beginner call. The dome on it helps to keep the tickle, and if you're not really sure how to use a flat call like Austin has here, it helps with that roof of your mouth feeling, helps you be able to get a sound out of the call. It's a good beginner call. I got mine at Walmart. You can pick them up pretty cheaply. It's just an all-around good call. If you can't do the flat call yet, this is a good one to start on. This is what I started on. It makes a pretty good sound. It's just a real all-around good cheap call that for beginners. It even makes, it's pretty close to the same as his. Austin's is a little more raspy, but that's because his is made to imitate a more adult hen. This one's more of a younger, mid-aged hen. So it's a really good call to learn on, and I recommend it. If you don't know how to set the call in the roof of your mouth, this just fits perfectly and allows you to get a sound out of it without having to try too hard.
And like Jeff says, those are really easy calls to use. I started with those as well. I prefer my crooked spurs, but those are excellent calls for when you're just beginning, or you just don't like the tickle in the top of your mouth. I mean, let's face it, nobody likes to choke on mouth calls. These flat calls, as you get more advanced, you can use them. Jeff is great with mouth calls as well. He has some flat ones that he does use, but he prefers his Primos. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a great call, that Primos is definitely the way to go.
You know, in our first video, we were talking about how we're going to be using archery equipment out here on our turkey hunt. Unfortunately, I'm having some vision problems and I won't be able to use a bow, but I will be using a shotgun. Austin's still going to use his bow though.
Yeah, I'm going to be using old trusty. Y'all saw him in the second video, I should say. This is my Mission Ballistic. We're going to be using the Gold Tip Kinetics, equipped with the hypodermic 2-inch cutting surface broadhead. I feel they fly a lot better than a guillotine. Guillotine broadheads used for turkeys, I feel like they're a little top heavy. So I'd just rather use a 100 grain hypodermic. They get a lot of good penetration and they have a good cutting diameter. And ultimately that's what we're looking for. Rage makes a great broadhead if you're new to the archery scene. They make a great broadhead that everybody can shoot effectively. Jeff uses the same broadheads. Unfortunately, he's going to be using a shotgun. Not this one per se.
This is just a...
This is the one that my wife will be using. This is it's a Mossberg Maverick, and it is a 20 gauge. She's a little smaller, as you all know, and we don't like the kick on that 12 gauge, so we're going to try to knock a bird down with the 20 gauge.
I'm going to be using a Remington 870 that I won from a raffle actually, so I'm going to throw a turkey choke in that and see if I can't get a bird down with it, since I can't really see the sights on my bow very easily anymore.
And I'll also be bringing along a Remington 870 as well. It's a little different than Jeff's. It's the tactical edition. It's black, but it does have does have a turkey choke in it, so if I can't get it done with the mission, I'll switch to the shotgun and we'll see if we can get it done.
Now, Austin's going to use his 870, and you know, you don't have to go to Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, any of your big box stores and get a shotgun. You can go to your local Walmart, anything like that. They sell good guns. They're a little cheaper, good for on a budget hunting. They'll get the job done. But I mean, you don't also have to go and spend. These guys picked them up at Cabela's last weekend. They're a little bit pricier. Got them at Cabela's, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to your local sporting goods store, Sportsman's Warehouse, Dick's, wherever you're at in the country, and just pick up a nice decoy that'll just get you through the season, learn how to use it. The people there will be real helpful. Usually they can understand what you're trying to do, and you can just really hunt on a budget. You don't have to spend $80 for a couple of decoys.
Yeah, and that's an important thing. What you're out here to do is have fun, and it doesn't matter what you spend. I like to use these guys because they look a little bit more realistic, but ultimately, whatever gets the job done will get the job done. I'd like to give a shout out to Cabela's for hooking us up with these, of course, on sale items. I like to shop on a budget at Cabela's. And what I'd also like to do, if it's okay with everybody, is give a shout out to Royal Gorge Archery. They set me up perfectly with this Mission Ballistic. If you're looking for a great place to go get all your bow and archery equipment serviced, or even looking to get a new bow, check them out. They're here in Canyon City, and they always do me right. See John, he's a real good guy, and a lot of his helping hands in there, Coda, they're good. They're good. They'll treat you right, and
you don't even have to buy a bow from them. You just go in and talk to them. Honestly, they're there to help you, get you on the right path. If you find a different bow from somewhere else, then that's fine. They'll help you set it up. If you find a deal, they'll help you with everything else.
So again, I'd like to give a final thank you for John at the bow shop for hooking me up. But if you're not in Colorado like we are, and you're not in the southern Colorado area, just go to your local bow shop. Those guys are knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about, and they'd be more than happy to help you. They share the same passion that you do, and I'm sure they would love for you to pick their mind. So thank you for watching Cryptic Ridge Outdoors.
Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe.
And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Leave it in the comments section, and we'll try to help you out the best we can. I'm Austin Reed.
And I'm Jeff Bastion. This is Cryptic Ridge Outdoors.
And we'll see you next time in northeastern Colorado.